You know what they say. The best way to predict the future is to create it. So call a few people on the same vibe who will look to support you in this thing we call life. So then I thought, let's level up the cast on NFL Conversation. Introducing the Crew.
It's your man's Josh Norman.
Welcome to the show.
Morris Chestnut here. It's about that time.
This is Brian Urlacher. No introduction needed.
Yo, what up, baby? It's Deric Augustine.
You guys need me to suit up?
Good to see you, man. Your dog all right? Your dog all right?
What?
We signed the Heisman Trophy winner. We drafted him. Devontae Smith. You know him? Yeah, no. Okay, cool. I was just checking.
That's how I keep my talk. Hey, you play, nigga. Hurt your right?
Yeah.
Just get ready for it.
What up, it's your girl, Josina Anderson, and it is time to get started. All right, welcome to episode 4 of The Crew. Right now we are streaming live on my Twitter. We are streaming live on youtube.com undefined with Josina Anderson and thecrewshow.com as well. You can also download the USA Today app on your TV to get the reruns there as well. Make sure during the show you tweet the hashtag The Crew Show if you want us to feature your comments as well. But quickly, before I bring the guys in, I want to tell you who is on today's show. We got Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson stopping by the Crew Crib. We also have Rod Graves, who's the executive director of the Fritz Pollard Alliance, and also Todd Boyd, who is the Catherine and Frank Price Endowed Chair for the Study of Race and Pop Culture and Professor of Cinema and Media Studies at USC. But now it is time for the Crew Call. All right, time now to bring in the boys. What up, Morris Chestnut, our resident Eagles fan? I feel like he's feeling a little good today. Are you feeling better? You got less stuff to say today?
Oh, you look. I'm feeling all right. A W's a W in the NFL, especially on the road. So yeah, I'm feeling good. Right about now.
Okay, and we have our resident Dallas Cowboys fan who is feeling a little bit good today too. Hall of Famer joining us from Vegas out there. Thank you, from coming away from whatever you were doing out in Vegas. That stays in Vegas, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Playing golf.
That's what you're doing. Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I don't think so. And then our resident Saints fan, Deric Augustine, also feeling a little bit better today. Please.
Come on, feed the beast.
Give it to them every time.
And they fed the beast, and that's why they won today.
Is that why they won today?
That's why they won. You finally
you looking like you were getting ready to cry last show. I'm just saying.
I did. I shed a tear, and I'm happy about that. I'm a passionate Saints fan.
All right, well, let's go to those instant game reactions. And Keenan, let's come out of that real quick. All right, so the first game that we're going to start off with is Cleveland at the Chargers. And guess what, y'all? Morris, your boy, yes. Baker Mayfield, they did not come away with the win, losing 47-42. Go, Morris.
Right. Well, look. I think Stefanski has done an excellent job with what he's doing with Cleveland, the offense and the defense. However, I hate to say, I just don't think that Baker's the quarterback to get them over the hump.
Morris, he was 23 for 32 for 305, 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Go ahead, Brian. Right. Somebody say something.
I'm shocked you said that. I think Baker's awesome. They kind of turned the corner since he got there. They had a couple, the first couple of years of every number one pick are going to be tough. But, man, I feel like they're explosive on offense. They play good defense. They got outscored today, but he had to put up 42 points, to keep the game close. How about give some credit to the Chargers? They can win on offense. They can win on defense. They just get it done. It's a good game by them, but man, that surprised me. You said that, Morris. I'm a big fan of Baker.
Well, he got a
That's
history.
okay though.
Hating.
I'm
He
not
got a
mad.
history
No.
hating.
You're allowed to think you're. That surprises me.
Right. The only reason why I say that is because it's very rare that they win because of Baker. When you look at what's happened, you had the first cup. You had Hugh Jackson there. Hugh Jackson, once Baker started, they were giving Baker the ball. It didn't work. Hugh got fired. And then they had I forget the next coach there. He was giving the Baker the ball. Then he got fired. Stefanski is taking the ball out of Baker's hand. He says, "Listen, we're going to run the ball. Whenever they run the ball more than they throw the ball, they either going to win or they come close to winning." He hasn't really put the team on the back in critical moments against good football teams and have been the reason for them winning. I feel like, and there's nothing against Baker, I just feel like right now he just hasn't developed to that point. I mean, look at Justin Herbert. He was just dropping back, just throwing lasers. And I would argue, strong running game, running for over 200 yards, and that makes it that much easier for you to throw. Justin Herbert didn't have that. He came out and put the team on his back. Look, I think the Browns are a great football team. I think Baker's a good player. I like some of the stuff that he does. I'm just not sure if he's the guy right now.
Okay.
Deric, is Morris being too harsh?
Yes, he is, man. The Browns used to be a poverty team, man, and look how far they came. Yes, Baker has his ups and downs, but he finally has a team of weapons. He has OBJ, Landry's there. He has Nick Chubb. They finally have a running game as well. So Morris, they've been through a couple of coaches, but that's before I think he had those offensive weapons that he desperately needed. And I think the Chargers are playing, man, they're playing some good football, man. And I think this was the best defense they've faced thus far, and they rose up to the challenge, man. That dude Herbert is a monster. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Beast.
And look, and this is not a personal, emotional thing. I just look at the facts. I just look at the numbers. I mean, if we look
Morris
at
facts. Morris is
Yeah.
facts, y'all.
Facts
no,
by
that's
Morris.
not the fact. I mean, if we look at
Book
the
of Morris
team,
facts.
if we look at, I mean, who is Cleveland beaten this year? I mean, they beat Chicago on.
They came into this game 3-1.
What's that now?
They came into the game 3-1.
Okay, yeah, they did. But I'm saying a couple of weeks ago, we talked about people were saying that the Broncos weren't this and that because of who they played. Well, let's see who the Browns have beat. They beat the Texans, and Tyrod Taylor left the game. They beat Chicago with Justin Fields on his very first start with no offensive line. And then they beat Minnesota, which Minnesota on the road. Listen, you can't take away any win is a good win, but they beat a depleted Minnesota team that I don't think is that good right now. So each test that they've had against a team 500 or above, they've come up short. And look, they're a great team, but let's just see what they do.
All right, let's move on quickly, guys. We got a lot of these games to get to and guests waiting. So let's move on to Green Bay at Cincinnati. The Packers win this one 25-22 in overtime. Crosby missed 3 potential game-winning field goals in this game, and then it was able to connect on the 49-yarder at the end of the game. Thoughts on this one?
Oh, man, they missed 5 field goals, right, throughout the whole game. And then
like the last 2
Packers,
minutes or something like that.
Right, then the Packers kicker finally came in and solidified the game. It was a good game, though, man. These two offenses are amazing. Baker has weapons, man. The guy from LSU, number 1, man.
Burrow.
Baker, you mean just Burrow?
I'm sorry, Burrow. Joe Burrow.
Yeah, we know what you're at.
Yeah, I know.
Jamar Chase,
man.
We know what you
Jamar
meant.
Chase is an animal, man. He was an animal at LSU as well, and he sat out that year, and he came back stronger. So I'm looking forward to what this Bengals team has coming in their future. We all know where the Packers are. They're playing really good football. That first game against the Saints, maybe, I think Aaron Rodgers was just in his little headspace, but he got back into it, and they're rolling right now.
All right,
I agree with you about.
Go ahead, Bree. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I'm impressed with what the Bengals have done. They didn't win today, but that team's taking a big jump from last year. Burrow's only his second year. Defense is playing good. They lost to a good football team today, but I like the direction they're going.
And you mentioned Joe Burrow. He was taken to the hospital after the game to check out a throat contusion. So we will definitely be checking out his status after the game, guys. Let's move on to your Saints, Deric Augustine, who got the win over the Washington football team, 33-22. You came on here bragging, showing your Kamara jersey and all this other stuff. Last week, it looked like you were getting ready to give up on your team. Your boy Taysom Hill got hurt today. However, you got the victory.
Yeah, I think this Sean Payton is finally trusting Jameis Winston. You see the opening drive, he had 5 or 6 scoring attempts opposed to last game, and we're seeing him getting more comfortable. Man, our defense is stepping up. Marshawn Lattimore, I think, is the best cornerback in the league, and we're finally opening up some plays for Kamara. So that was the key to victory.
B, why are you laughing? You don't agree with his assessment on
It's
Lattimore?
obvious that Diggs for the Cowboys is the best corner in the NFL. The man's got
Obvious.
6 or 7 picks through 5 games. So I think
He
it's
was
funny.
a receiver, Brian. He was a receiver.
And it's even more amazing he's doing what he's doing on defense now, like since he played receiver at Bama. He's a bad man.
The bad dude. I give you that.
Did you see him set him up for that pick today? He like that the dude running by him. I was like, you know what? I'll let him throw it out there, then I'll go get it. It was unreal. I mean, his hands are amazing. He's good.
All right, let's move on to Morris's Eagles real quick, guys. We got to keep it going here. Morris, I know you're anxious to get to this anyway, so I got to cut you off to get to your Eagles. They won 21-18 over the Carolina Panthers. I mean, I don't know. Should we play an orchestra yet? Finally, you can come on here and talk about an Eagles win, huh?
Listen. I watched every second of the game, and I have to be honest with you. I'm still. I need to go to sleep because I think I'm dreaming because we played so poorly in the first half of that game. I don't even know how we won it. I think I need to watch the replay. I don't know how the Eagles won that game. It was the defense stepped up. Carolina made a few bad plays, and offense, as poorly as we played in the first half with a very vanilla, non-creative offense, we found a way. Jalen Hurts found a way to score some points in the second half and timely interceptions, and we stole one.
Morris, don't say that they made mistakes. Like you guys made them make mistakes. That's what happened.
You're right. I will say
that. The ball away, you intercepted the ball, and you made plays on offense. It wasn't what they did. It was what y'all did. Yeah.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, they forced the turnover.
Don't short them.
Yeah, you're right. They did force the turnovers. I agree.
Brian Urlacher, let's get to your Giants. Your
Cowboys.
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 Sorry.
We don't even talk about it. It's like an every week thing with the Cowboys. I don't even know why we even talk about it anymore. I mean, we expect them to win, and they win. They run the ball. Zeke has 100 yards. Dak throws for 290, 3 touchdowns. Defense gets a couple more takeaways. It's a weekly thing. This is the way it goes.
Well, they won 44-20, but go ahead.
Y'all played
Except the first game. Pardon me?
What?
What was that? I didn't hear what you said.
I said y'all played the Giants.
And,
even though we lost to them.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay. I'm glad you brought that up. Hey, Morris, who did the Giants play last week?
Listen.
Who did the Giants play last week on the road? Oh, man, he just set me up so good for that one, DA.
Yeah, I did.
I got to be honest. I mean, this is the first time in a long time, obviously being a division rival of the Cowboys. This is the first time in a long time to where they just win. I mean, no matter who is out, no matter what's going on, they just win. And right now, with Parsons and Diggs and the way Dak is playing, they're a scary football team right now.
So they're running the ball, but their offensive line is finally back to not where they used to be, but pretty close. Zach Martin, Tyron Smith, those dudes are big and bad, and they're not going to around. And they're physical on both sides of the football. It's fun to watch.
But I think we would be remiss not to mention that there were quite a few injuries with the Giants. Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Galladay, Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton, Andrew Thomas. We got Shane and all those boys getting injured today. Hopefully Daniel Jones is okay with that concussion that he suffered. But yes,
let me just say something, because I have to address these injuries that people use as an excuse.
There's a lot of injuries.
The Cowboys still have people that are injured too. As much, I'm an Eagles fan, okay? But I like to call it like I see it. They have the best defensive lineman hurt. They have a really good receiver in Galladay out. Now, and also when you look at a good team,
Gallup. It was Gallup.
Gallup is out. And when you look at a team like the Chargers would be undefeated unless they had not lost to the Cowboys. So whatever it is, you have to give this team credit. You have to give them credit.
All right, guys. Well, that was a great discussion on the instant game reactions. It is time now to bring in a very special guest. We are going to start rolling with the Crew Crib. All right, so we got Justin Jefferson getting ready to come in the building. He joined us live from the locker room, and we're going to go ahead and roll that right now. So guess who is pulling up into the Crew crib right now? It is Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson, fresh off of their 19-17 victory against the Detroit Lions, live from the locker room. Justin, what's up, man?
What's good?
Everything's popping. I see the hair, the shades. I know you feeling right.
Hey, I'm feeling great.
Yeah, I know it. Well, listen, first of all, I just want you to take me to the ending moments of the game. You guys were up, pretty good at the half, 13-6 at the break. And then the Lions were able to get that touchdown when Jared Goff threw his strike to Brown, and DeAndre Swift got the 2-point conversion. So now they take a 1-point lead, 17-16 at that point. What was going through your mind?
They had 37 seconds left on the clock. We practice this 2-minute drill all the time. Those last minute plays. So I mean, we was ready. We was going to win the game. We was confident in our play calls, confident in our guys to go make the plays, and our kicker made a great kick to win the game.
Well, and you're fast forwarding a little bit. I do want you to rewind some, okay? Tell me what Kirk Cousins was saying in the huddle at that point where you guys have to get on the field and get that drive. I believe you started on your own 18 to make sure you got the go-ahead score. What was said in the huddle at that time?
I mean, this ain't nothing new for us. We do 2-minute drill every single day of practice, practicing those last-minute plays. So this is no struggle for us.
I know, but what did he say? What did he say?
He said we got to go do it. We got to go win this game. It is on us. And I mean, we had a struggle second half, so we had to make those points back.
Okay, and then just tell me too, after you guys get the game-winning field goal, I saw Kirk Cousins run up to your head coach and almost shake him. It seems like a whole bunch of different people were running up to coach. I mean, you guys have been going through your struggles a little bit, during the season. Can you just describe the elation that you saw with your teammates and what, how that felt, especially with the fact that, some of the games didn't go your way so far this season?
Yeah, even though we wasn't too happy with our offensive performance, we felt like we left a lot of plays on the field. We definitely could have had way more points than what we had on the board. But, I mean, it always feels good to win, especially a division game. So we just got to go and fix the mistakes and come back ready to go next week.
So, and even as you guys got the victory today, can you just describe for the audience, briefly, how you all navigated the adversity? I mean, obviously it's a long season, extra game this year. What are some of the things that either Zimmer said, your offensive coordinator said, quarterback Kirk said, in the interim of trying to, keep everyone focused mentally through the challenges?
Yeah, I mean, they always say we have a great team. We have a great team, but we always kill ourselves, especially towards the end of the game. So it's just all about finishing the game, playing all 4 quarters, and executing the plays when it's called.
Well, you almost had a 1-for-1 swing if the Packers hadn't pulled it out against the Cincinnati Bengals. I know you're in the locker room right now, but there were a lot of missed field goals in that game. I think there was one in your game as well. Yes, and the Bengals thought they had it with the made field goal at the end, but the Packers do win. So you guys get a win in your division and also the Packers there, but at least you guys get the victory. And tell me a little bit really quickly before I let you go, just how you feel your season was going. You got a lot of respect around the league from how you played last year. You have 7 receptions for 124 receiving yards today. Tell me how you feel like your game is evolving and what in particular do you point to in terms of who you're modeling your game after or what your receivers coach or coaches are telling you that has helped evolve your game?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed with my play so far. Starting off with a sophomore slump. So just having a good second year. Not losing any step from last year, and just keep balling, just keep doing my own little thing, and I'm pretty sure everything is gonna go according to plan. But me looking at the weaknesses I had last season, in the off season I worked my butt off just trying to strengthen those weaknesses, and I mean I'm just ready to go out there and just keep playing, just keep balling and keep getting these W's.
Last two questions. You mentioned some of the weaknesses that you were working on. What's one of them that you were working on?
My explosiveness, just running off the ball, just getting that explosive first steps, getting to my depth of the route, and then my balance. My balance was a big thing. Breaking those tackles, staying up on my feet, and that balance coming out in and out of my breaks.
Well, you know, I believe Eddie George, a former NFL running back, I think used to do some ballet. I also did ballet for 13 years. So if you ever want to learn some pirouettes and balance on some point shoes, you and I can do that session, okay, in Minnesota. I don't know if Zimmer would appreciate that, but I can show you a couple tango steps or two if you want to. And lastly, you guys are at Carolina in your next game. I know you haven't had practices for that yet or your installations, but something that comes to mind that stands out about either how Carolina is playing or what you're looking forward to when it comes to that matchup?
I mean, yeah, they're playing pretty good. They only lost one game so far, so we definitely got to be mentally prepared going into next week. We have to come ready to play, and we're playing away, so it's definitely going to be tough on the road. We just got to focus in mentally and go out there and ball.
Well, listen, Justin Jefferson, we appreciate you pulling up in the crew crib, straight from the locker room, live after the hot victory. Before you go, Justin Jefferson, I want you to do your shout-outs looking at the camera, and then I'll give you one more instruction after that. Go.
Shout out to moms, dad, Ricky, Jordan. Definitely turning up for y'all, always.
That sounded like you was doing shout-outs to Belle Biv DeVoe real quick. I didn't know. Okay. And then real quick, look at the camera and tell everybody what your name is and you are watching the Crew Show. Go.
This is Justin Jefferson, and you are watching the Crew Show.
That's how you do it. That's how you sign off, Justin. We appreciate your time. Thank you, and good luck next week.
Thank you.
All right, guys, quick reaction to Justin Jefferson. Brian, I heard you laughing when he said he was impressed with himself and the improvements that he made. Real quick.
I like him. I like how confident he is. He makes plays. It's probably easy to be confident in yourself when you make plays like he does. But to win that game the way they won it today, to go 2-point conversion there at the end and then go back down with, 37 seconds left and kick a field goal to win the game. Division games are big in the NFL, especially you don't want to lose them at home to Detroit, more importantly. But they're not all pretty. Like Morris says, a win's a win. So just to be happy you won. But I like that kid. I like the way he plays. He plays the game the right way.
All right, and Morris got a quick reaction real quick.
My reaction to Justin Jefferson is just scary how good this kid is right out the gate. It was like no adjustment, okay, let's wait and see how he develops. He came right out the gate just balling, and it's very impressive. I'm a huge fan.
All right, Deric, hold tight, you guys. We're going to go ahead and roll over to the Crew Huddle. We have two special guests coming up right now. Go ahead. All right, time now to bring in two very special guests to the crew. Standing by, we have Rod Graves, who's the Executive Director of the Fritz Pollard Alliance, and we also have Todd Boyd, who is joining us as well. He is got a very, very, very long title. It is the Catherine and Frank Price Endowed Chair for the Study of Race and Pop Culture. He's also the Professor of Cinema and Media Studies for USC. Dr. Todd Boyd, how are you guys doing today?
Doing great.
We appreciate you joining us. Yes, thank you, Dr. Todd Boyd. Obviously, we have a very serious topic that we want to get into quickly. We know that the Wall Street Journal reported that Las Vegas head coach Jon Gruden used a racist trope in a decade-old email reportedly sent in July 2011 when the NFL and the union was locked in a labor dispute, and it was about NFLPA Executive Director DeMaurice Smith. In that, he said, quote, as reported, he called him Dummaris Smith, D-U-M-B, and has the lips of the size of Michelin tires. The email was reportedly sent to Bruce Allen at the time, who was the team president at the time of the Washington football team. Rod Graves, quick reaction to the fact that this email was uncovered as part of a probe into the Washington football team culture.
Well, Josina, it's certainly disturbing because of the fact that this was a email transmitted between two high-ranking executives, club executives, and it is very unsettling that kind of attitude would have been not only expressed, but written in a memo or email between the two as a matter of record. So there are many reasons to be disturbed about it. The fact that it exists is not as big of a surprise, but it is incumbent, I believe, on the league to express strong opposition to that kind of attitude and sentiment within the workplace.
Right, and you have the league calling it abhorrent, wholly contrary to its values, also calling the language appalling. So you kind of intimated to it there. I'm going to bring you in soon, Todd, but Rod, what do you think should be the discipline from the league or the club?
Well, it's, from my understanding, the league is taking a look at multiple things, not just this particular statement. But again, Josina, the league has a duty to inspire confidence in the workplace, confidence with our fans and with the media, with sponsors, with ownership, all of those. That statement has to speak to all of those groups. And so whatever they end up doing, I think it should put some type of resolve in the fact that the league does not tolerate this kind of behavior within the workplace. And I will say, as far as Fritz Pollard is concerned, we certainly focus on fairness in the workplace. And so when you have these kind of attitudes being expressed by high-ranking executives, it certainly can find its way into the evaluation of job opportunities, hiring practices, compensation, advancement, all of those areas. And this is where it becomes particularly concerning on a general level.
And Rod, definitively, real quick, should the league discipline Jon Gruden?
Well, I believe they should. I think because of the fact that he is still an employee of the league, regardless of the fact that it happened 10 years ago or so, I think that it certainly it should remain open, that discipline should be applied. And for that reason, I think it should be a strong statement. Whether there's in what type of form, whether it's admonishment or whether it's
suspension or
financial, who's to say? But I think the league should make a strong statement regarding it.
All right, Todd, we appreciate you standing by. Really quickly, I talked to a couple of Raiders sources, one who was saying that they didn't hear much chatter about it around the facility, and then another one said they took it as a joke as long as he didn't use the N-word. Todd, can you explain to us why you think or think not that this particular statement by Gruden in this past email would be characterized as racist or not?
Well, there's a long history to comments that exaggerate the physical characteristics of Black people, rooted in a very, odious, problematic, racist history. If Jon Gruden is upset, if he's angry, he can say that he's angry. If he thinks that DeMaurice Smith is lying, he can say that he's lying. But, what he did was he called a man out of his name, and he used this racial caricature to describe what he says was his way of saying that the man was lying. A lot of ways he could have expressed that, but he chose to talk about the size of the man's lips. So this is rooted in racism, and it doesn't make any difference if he intended it to be, racist or not. I think if Deric Carr throws an interception, he probably didn't intend to throw it, but I don't know that Gruden would be very happy about it. So it's not about intent, it's about impact. And, I look at it and I think about the fact that this was a private conversation or intended that way. He said it quite casually. Doesn't seem to be anyone who, responded by saying that's inappropriate or you shouldn't say that. So, there's a casualness to it. There's an ease to it. And I think it reflects the kind of racism that is part of everyday life. And so, I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked. And I think in some ways, when these kind of things happen, a lot of people act like they're, really surprised. This is obviously a bad look, but this goes on regularly. in private conversations amongst a lot of people. And so in this case, it's been exposed. But, there's a history to what he said. Whether he can, defend it by saying he intended to say something racist or not, I think is irrelevant.
Okay, a couple of things I just want to do on some house cleaning items. So Jon Gruden said he did not recall sending it at the time when he was interviewed by WSJ. But then when he talked to ESPN Friday night, he said he was aware of 5 to 7 emails that were flagged by the league. He said he remembers being angry because he didn't like the direction of the labor negotiations. And he told The Athletic that he would take responsibility for the email. However, when he did speak to ESPN on Friday, he said, quote, "I was in a bad frame of mind at the time in 2011, and I called Roger Goodell a expletive in one of those emails too," the Raiders coach told ESPN on Friday night. And also just mentioning that he had made some other comments regarding the owners who were at the table as well, and saying that he's on a mission with regards to high school football at the time. And there was a lot being said about the safety of the sport, and that's why it was getting underneath his skin. So I just wanted to know really quickly, Todd Boyd, and then I'm going to bring the rest of the crew guys in just to wrap up this conversation. What did you think of that explanation today that ESPN illuminated, with the fact that he was trying to illustrate that the comments that he made that were denigrating and disparaging did not just go to DeMaurice Smith, that he said other things about the commissioner and about the owners really quickly?
I mean, what does that change? Okay, so he, called Roger Goodell a name, and he called DeMaurice Smith a name, and he criticized some owners. So what? Because he criticized Goodell and owners, that means what he said about DeMaurice Smith is no longer important. I mean, he said all those things, and it's going to be Goodell who's going to decide if there's any punishment. So perhaps that's not the thing you want to lean on in this case. I mean, it's not any less racist because he criticized other people as well. As I said, if he's angry and he wants to criticize something, that's fine. There's a lot of ways to do that, but he chose to do it in a certain way. And so he needs to recognize that in choosing to do it in this way, he said something, with a very problematic racist history to it. And you can't just dismiss that by saying, oh, yeah, I criticize other people also.
All right, really quickly, before we let both you and Rod Graves go, Todd, do you feel like the league should discipline Jon Gruden? Yes or no?
I mean, that's not my place. If I work for the NFL, I might feel differently. I look at this, to me, it's a bad look. But there's another part of me that looks at this as a situation, well, he just exposed himself, or he's been exposed.
Well, he said he doesn't have a racist bone in his body, but, and this email was from 11 years ago.
I mean, the last time I checked, bones aren't racist. Maybe I'm mistaken. It's not about bones in your body. Let me touch on this real quick because it comes up all the time. So many people, they say something inappropriate and then they say, no, I didn't intend to be racist. And there's all these excuses. My best friends are black. We've heard them all, right? Yes. It's not about your intent. I wish people would understand, first of all, we have no way of judging someone's intent. We have to take your word for it. I don't know what you intend to do. As I say, if Deric Carr throws an interception, I doubt seriously if he intended to throw an interception. He threw an interception. Somebody picked the ball off. If somebody puts the ball on the ground and they run over to the sideline, what's Jon Gruden going to say? No problem. I know you didn't intend to fumble that football. It's not about intent. It's about what you said. And what you said was wrong. Now, whether he gets punished about it, I mean, to me, it's not the end of the world. He's not the first, second, or third white person to say something racist. A lot of times I think there's an overreaction in cases like this because people act like this doesn't happen. And when it does, it's so shocking. This happens all the time. So I look at it for what it is. I see him for who he is. And, I'm not surprised. It's a bad look, but whether you punish him or not, I think that's somebody else's call.
Well, really quickly, I just wanted to say, comments that are denigrating or racist can come from any group of people, not just one group of person. But I do want to say I appreciate you, Todd Boyd and Rod Graves, for joining us on the Crew. Excellent discussion. Wish we had more time, but I also want to get the crew to comment on the things that you guys say. And I look forward to speaking with both of you in the future. Thank you for giving us your time.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys. We appreciate it. Let's bring back the crew to comment on Rod Graves and what Todd Boyd had to say. You guys, I'm sure you were listening to that conversation. A really quick reaction right there. And let's also bring Brian in if we can get him in there.
I think that it is, it is an unfortunate situation. I think also that even from a different perspective regarding Gruden. I mean, I know that he's done well as a coach, but from this standpoint, when you're calling people names, and he says, I know he mentioned that he said something about the commissioner as well. It feels a little. It's not really my place to really say if it's good or bad, but it feels a little juvenile, and I'm wondering if that loss today by the Raiders had something to do with his leadership as a result of this distraction.
And Deric, do you have any comments?
Oh man, like Morris said, this is a very unfortunate situation, specifically because it is going to break up some of the relationship between the players and the coach. And I think the NFL, they have to make an example out of him. So I think he may get fined, but it's just the impact of the relationship that are going to change because of this. I think that's going to hurt the most.
All right, you guys. Well, Brian has stepped away for a second, but we're going to continue to just go ahead and move on to crew chatter. There was a lot of chatter on the NFL. And really quickly, I see Rod Graves and Todd Boyd standing by. We appreciate you joining us. We're going to go ahead and move on to our next segment, guys. So if you can still hear me, we appreciate you guys joining in the backstage, okay? Keenan, let's go ahead and move on to the crew chatter. All right, you guys, there was quite a few comments made on social media today about kickers. I just wanted you to see these really quickly. If we can go to the side box, it was a very interesting day, especially in the Green Bay-Cincinnati game. We're going to bring up our waterfall as we're taking a look at some of the things that people were saying. Keenan, can we just pick a comment out of this waterfall and see what people had to say? Maybe not. Keenan, do we have it? All right. So you guys, I'm not sure if we have that screen full, but anyways, do you have any comments yourselves on what you saw from kickers today? Do you particularly like them? Oh, here it is. Here it is. We got it. This is a tweet from Sports Center. Says this about sums it up in terms of how the kicks were going today. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the Saints, we just signed a new kicker, and I think he only made maybe one PAT. The rest were very far left or very far right. I understand how much of a man it must be. How much pressure I have to kick this field goal to win this game, and you miss, man. And the only thing you have to do is kick. But yeah, that's pretty much sums it up about how today went for these kickers.
Right, and it's something. Of course, it's another situation. It looks very easy from the couch, but when you're in the game and you're under that pressure, and I think I can only imagine if I was a player. You have one job to do. We're not asking you to tackle, we're not asking you to throw, to go catch, to block. Just kick the ball through the uprights, and hey, it's a pressure cooker.
All right, let's look at another comment that people had to say on Twitter today about the kickers. Keaton, is that going to come up quickly? All right, so this is from Barstool saying that this is Mason Crosby next week. I don't know if you guys agree. This seems pretty not nice since he actually did win the game at the end.
That's something.
I mean, but he did miss how many field goals? Josina, 3?
Yes, but he got the last one.
He got the last one in OT when your team needed to do the most, man. If you'd have missed the last one, then maybe. But, man, you just have to look at his record, man. He made the last one, and props to him to making that. But he didn't play a good game today.
All right, and let's look at the last one real quickly. Let's pull one out of the waterfall. Here's the last one. Okay, this is someone saying this is what the field goal posts look like for kickers today. Is that about right, guys?
It feels like that would be about right with the game on the line and you have that much pressure. It feels like that would be about right.
All right, guys, let's quickly move on to the final takes. We have a big game of Sunday Night Football. It is the Chiefs and the Bills. Morris, really quickly, give us what you think is going to happen in this game tonight.
It's going to be a very tough game, but I would have to go. I'm leaning the Bills. I'm leaning the Bills because I think their defense. Yes. I think their defense is going to step up, and I think they have just enough on offense. And look, Kansas City, they've been playing up. It's been up and down for them this year thus far. And I think they realize that this is an important game, but I just think the Bills might be a little bit more in sync.
Interesting. Even though they lost to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game last year, Morris.
Well, the one thing that's great about the NFL is that you cannot bring what you did last year into this year. Each year is
even though you always talk about Nick Foles, but okay.
Well, Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. I mean,
but it's okay with a Nick Foles. Okay. All right, Deric, Augustine, what's going to happen tonight?
I'm going to go with the Chiefs, but it's going to be a very close game. And I think they're going to be very prepared because I think this is a matchup that they're going to see in the future. So they're going to look at this as a potential. We're going to see them on our way to get to the Super Bowl, so we're going to bring it.
Okay, and any final last words before we wrap up? As Sunday Night Football is getting ready to kick off, and we are actually on time heading right into the game, guys.
There we go.
Yes, the Saints will have a full team come back from the bye, and so teams be prepared for that.
Morris is sending you a warning.
But are the coaches coming back from the bye? They're still on the injury reserve list as well.
Why you talking about coaches? Can't talk about practice, talk about coaches.
Michael Thomas gonna be back more, so I mean, no more excuses for Jameis. We're gonna be back.
Listen. I will tell you this.
Yeah.
The one thing that people cannot sleep on is your coach. He shows up whenever you guys have a loss. He bounces back, and I agree with you. Once Jameis gets into a rhythm, I think the league needs to watch out because your defense is strong. You guys get Michael Thomas back. Jameis gets into a rhythm. The league is going to need to watch out because Peyton, he's a really good coach. You're going to let one slip away, then you're going to go back on the road and beat a team like you did today. So I think the league, it's going to be fun.
Man, Moore's giving us props.
Yeah, hey, I call it like it is. I call it like it is. I call it like it is.
Hey, listen, Deric brought his Kamara jersey. Morris, you got a jersey you need to show up.
I need to get one. I need to get one to represent.
I'm gonna buy you. I'm gonna ship you one, man. You still working on it? I got you, dog. Let me order it right now, man.
Cool.
Yeah, we definitely gonna send. Well, listen, we appreciate you guys joining us, and also Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson for stopping by in the Crew crib, and also Rod Graves and Todd Boyd for coming by and speaking in the Crew Huddle. So for Morris Chestnut, Deric, Augustine, Brian Urlacher, and Josh Norman, who will always join us on Tuesday. This has been episode 4 of The Crew. Thanks, guys.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate y'all.